Inez B. Gettis, Utica, Mississippi. I'm very happy that you have agreed to participate in our oral history project at Jackson State College. As I've explained to you, this part of our oral history project deals with the development of black educational institutions in the state of Mississippi. Specifically, today we are concentrating on the private institutions like Utica Institute, uh, Prentice Institute, and Piney Woods School. Uh, could you describe for us briefly how you first heard about Utica Institute?
Yes, I think I can. My first knowledge of Utica Institute was through a teacher who came to our community out on the plantation from Greenwood, Mississippi.
Do you recall what plantation that was?
Yeah, it was called Barry and Wingfield. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am. Very good.
This little school was just a few paces from our door. And this lady's name was Mrs. Estella Land Spinks, who resided in Greenwood. She was a graduate from Utica Institute, and had made her home in Greenwood. She came there to work in the printing office. She was a finished printer from Utica Institute. And she finally ended up teaching. And she gave me my first idea for coming to this school.
Yes, well, that's an interesting way to hear about a school. Was she a teacher there?
Yes, she was a teacher.
Was she encouraging your coming here?
Yes, she told me about this school, and she was so well liked and so popular. Most of the girls wanted to go where she came from to school.
Right.
And at that time, we had no high schools in Greenwood.
Oh, that's interesting.
No
So,
high school.
what did you have to have before you could come to Utica?
Oh, you had to have your entrance fee, what they call entrance fee, to become a work student. That's all you had to have, you know.
And you,
And
okay.
you could pay this small fee, which was, I believe it was $8. Seemed to me, I don't recall exactly, but it was very little. I do remember this, that the day school paying students paid $8. That's all they had to pay a month.
$8 a month.
$8 a month.
But all you had to pay as a work student was $8, and you
To
didn't pay
enter.
anymore. To enter.
And that's all I paid, you know, for the whole year. Of course, I had to buy my own books and such. But I worked and paid my board, and every year, I'd have enough in the treasure for my summer's work to put me through the winter school, day school, and that's the way.
So they kept a record of your work.
Yes,
How
yes.
much you worked and how much you earned.
Yes, we got a statement every month, just like if we were, receiving a salary.
Yes,
You knew everything, that if you owed anything, they kept, they had a very unique bookkeeping department. That was one of the high features of the school, was that department.
So that The first year you came to Utica, you worked the whole year,
whole year.
and then you were able to begin. Did you go to night school or day school after
Day.
that? Went to
I
day
could
school.
go to day school after a year.
When you came to Utica, how much education had you received?
I only had finished the grammar school, what they
Eighth
call
grade.
8th grade. They
Right.
call it then 8th grade, you know.
Right.
Mhm.
And then how long did it take? Do you recall how long it took you to finish high school?
Well, having to repeat a year, you see, and going in night school, it only took you through the 8th grade, the night school.
Right.
And that made me have to repeat a year.
Right. So it took you the long.
So, yes, it took me a year longer.
So you
I haven't.
graduated
In
yes,
17.
in 1917. You graduated. And then what did you do after your graduation from Utica? What had Utica prepared you to do?
I had a certificate, diploma in homemaking, fancy dressmaking, hat making, and handicraft. Those things, and
So you became a
that's
school
all I.
was a school teacher in these different crafts. You taught
My
school,
first
or what
work
did you do?
out of the school, my first work in the county was I worked with the homemade demonstration program in Hines County. That was my first work, and that's what I did until when I got married. My work was changed. I came back after my husband was out of the service. I came back to the school to work, and I worked in the home ec department as long as I worked until just late years after my husband was dead, a good many years, I took the post office. But my next real work was out in the county as a county, just a classroom teacher. That's what I did, between those times.
Now, was your husband a graduate of Utica Institute also?
No, he was from SCI. Called it Mount Beulah then.
I see. Now, what does SCI stand for? Did you identify? SCI, what's that stand for?
Southern Christian Institute.
Southern Christian Institute, right. Now, did your husband work here at Utica Institute then?
Yes, he did. He was working here when I came to school.
Oh, I see. He was a teacher here. What did
Yes.
he teach?
He was, they called it, I don't know what they would call it now to make you understand, but he had charge of all the work program. The industry, let's see, they called it Superintendent of Industries.
So, yeah.
That's what they called it then.
And
He did some night school classroom work, but his real job was, the other. He did all the, mechanical things, building and everything.
yes, ma'am. Now, did both he and you teach here at Utica Institute then when you came back? to
Yes,
teach?
we did.
Now,
He worked here until after. He worked here until, let's see, when he went into service, he came out. He worked here about 2 years. And
then he went to Piney Woods?
to work.
Was he doing the same thing at Piney Woods that he
Same
had done
thing.
here?
Yes.
Now, what was your husband's name?
Charles.
Charles.
Charles M. Gettis.
Charles M. Gettis. So that sort of gives Piney Woods some real connection with Utica in terms of ideas and all. Have you heard anything about how Piney Woods School got started?
No more than let's see. Again, I think Mr. Jones went out there. You know, this school used to send teachers different places, you know, to do, I don't know what they called it then. But he went there to teach, I know.
You think that
You know,
he was sent from
in the common school.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
believe he was.
But that was a practice
don't know.
at that time of sending people.
Yeah. But I don't know whether he was leaving here when he went there to teach or what, but it did take him away. He stayed.
Oh, I see. So that it's possible that Piney Woods is really then a branch in sort of a way in its ideas from Utica Institute. And that you had Dr. Jones who taught here perhaps about 2 years, and then your husband, Mr. Gettis, who went there and actually taught. How long do you recall that Mr. Gettis taught there?
I don't.
5 or 6 years?
Isn't that awful? I don't remember. Yes.
Something like that. And he died, you said, around
25.
25. Have you had any other types of associations with Piney Woods that you can recall?
No more than just visiting there.
Just visiting there. Did any of your children ever go there to school or anything? No.
You know, they didn't want to.
They didn't want. Well, they were here at Utica, which is basically the same type of school.
They never wanted to, and I wanted them to go because they wouldn't have had to pay a penny.
Why was that? Why wouldn't they have to pay a penny?
They were going to give them their education.
Oh, I see.
But they didn't want to go.
Was that because of your husband's service to Piney Woods School they decided to?
Yes. They always said, you know, they would do. But they wouldn't pay it in any other school.
Oh,
you know,
I see.
They had gone there.
You had to pay.
They visited there. And I would, you know, send them there to see how they liked and everything. They'd go there to 4-H club meetings and different things. And I don't know why they didn't like. They never wanted to go. I believe they thought it had something to do with their father got sick there, you know, and he didn't live but a few days after we brought him to the hospital. And they always thought that had something to do with, because they didn't have doctors and nurses in that school. And I believe the children thought that had something to do with it, but it didn't.
You had doctors and nurses here at Utica? Or nurses?
Some of the time, not all the time. But we had, you know, the best of physicians and nurses here worked at this school and at Piney Woods too, at different times. But it just happened then they didn't have a doctor on the campus.
I see. Now, do you recall anything about Mrs. Jones, Grace Jones, Dr. Jones' wife?
I had such a little contact with her, but what little I knew about her, she was great. She was. She did as much traveling and raising money for the school, if not more than he did.
Oh, I see. So she was really
She was more like the president than he was.
Oh, in those days, I see. So,
Yes, she was. She would get about. She did much more traveling then than he did. But he did a plenty, and he did, you know, he did well. I don't remember what year, but he went to California, and I think this was Hollywood, where they had this Is Your Life show. He went on that,
yes,
do you remember?
Around 54, 55.
I don't remember what year.
Yes, ma'am. The school is very well endowed as a result of that particular
Yes,
program.
that's what they say. Yeah.
Now,
That really saved that school.
yes, ma'am.
You know, during some of those years when things were going bad with that kind of school. They almost lost this school, during those lean years.
Yes, ma'am. That's, I guess, right on the heels of the building of black schools to prevent integration with the white schools. You had a number of
Yes, had a lot of setback then.
For the private institutions, this was what you described as the lean years for them, and as a result of that, I guess this is why Utica has become a junior college, state junior college, and Prentice, I understand, is also receiving quite a bit of state money for its junior college, but yet Piney Woods has been able to maintain itself primarily because of this.
Because of this.
This is your life program. Now, we were talking a bit ago about Dr. and Mrs. Jones. Now, what do you recall about Professor and Mrs. Holofall?
Well, Mrs. Holofall was more of a home type. She didn't do much traveling. She wasn't too much of a public person. Public figure, I would say. I never heard her make a public speech the whole time I was in school. She maybe would say a few words sometime, but for just outright speaking in the public and things like that. Now, she was a great teacher, classroom person. She was wonderful with home economics and things like that. And she was wonderful in every other way. But she just did not, go for that type of thing. Mr. Holstar was always so forward and could speak so well. And he just didn't hardly give her much chance.
Well, you can only have one chief in the house and all. Well, I think he did an excellent job in doing what he had done.
Oh, yes, he was wonderful.
He was a graduate of Tuskegee. Is that Tuskegee
he
Institute?
was.
Do you know whether his wife went there also?
Yes, she was too. And they worked in Snow Hill. That was a school that grew out of Tuskegee. Snow Hill, Alabama.
Yes, ma'am.
I've forgotten the name of the school. I reckon it was Snow Hill Industrial Institute. Snow Hill Institute, that's what it was.
And then they came on down here, Mississippi, to
They
start.
came from there, yeah.
So in those earlier days, the private school was really the thing, because you were saying that in your community there were no high schools where you could have gone on to high school. So ever since that you came to Utica, you have basically been associated with it. Well, what kind of reputation has Utica have, let's say, right around the time that you graduated? Do you recall, let's see, maybe I can ask another question. Do you recall any types of competition between Utica, Prentice, and Piney Woods?
Well, I would say, I believe Utica was a little beyond the other two at that time.
When you
I
graduated?
believe. I believe it was. I don't know too much about how they were then. But it was more talked about and more famous than the other two.
I think the first real graduating class we had at Piney Woods was in 1918. See, so that would be
It was behind us.
That they did get started later.
Much later.
So it took them some time to grow and to
That's right.
develop to a point.
It just hadn't grown to that pitch.
Do you remember any types of associations that Utica had with Tuskegee?